Good morning, YouTube. It is 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, and we are headed north. Just hopped in the truck, fixing to head up to the property, and we're gonna do a little clearing today. Just want to make a video and show you guys around. I'm gonna try to have a game plan up with some drone footage in the next day or so. I got a pretty solid plan as far as what I want to do with this place and the habitat and stuff like that. I'm going to show that to you later on, but for now, I just want to come on here and I want to film a little bit of this, document a little bit, post it up for you guys. I know a lot of people are asking, we want to see more, we want to see more. Well, I'll show you more, don't you worry. Just made a little pit stop. We're just a couple miles north of the Atmore cutoff, so had to get me old bacon, egg, and cheese. That little boy in there, he know how to make them. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful morning. We got 3 inches of rain last night here in Molino, and had a hell of a storm come through. I haven't heard it rain like that in months. That was definitely well needed. We're about a month dry here right now. That was definitely good. Got my monster kicking and got her in the wind. All right, guys, I am excited to show you this. We are putting in a food plot here this morning. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do. I know I was gonna cut some roads around the property, put in some breaks like this. For one, this land hasn't been touched in probably 5 years. The realtor told me that they thinned it out 4 to 5 years ago. They left all the big timber, as you can see, for poles and seed. As you can see, there's a lot of young pines in here, but there's a lot of invasive species like holly, yaupons, sweet gum, stuff like that. So what I'm doing, I set up these fire breaks down this road. Sorry about that, guys. Had a phone call. All right, so this is a little bit lower ground, and there's some ditches that kind of come through here. And I knew that some of this property was going to be wet, and I was super concerned about it, just because there was more little ditches and dry creeks than I saw. But last night we got over 3 inches of rain, so I got a little bit puddled up here at the bottom of the food plot, or at the base of the food plot, but I'm not super concerned about that at all. We're not gonna be building anything here. There's no house going in here. So if we get 3 inches of rain and it stands like that for 12 hours, no big deal. All right, so let's take a look at the food plot. My idea on this whole thing here was to, there's a road back right across through here, about 20 yards back in there. And what I wanted to do was be able to access this stand and this food plot without blowing all the deer out. So what I've done here is I've created a lane that's probably 20 yards wide by 55 yards deep. That's a fair sized plot. It's not a 1/4 acre, but it's almost 1/4 acre. Now, on this side over here, I've created a V. I wanted to do like a straight up boomerang where it kind of went out along that way, but it goes into another creek bottom where it runs through there. And our house is actually gonna be, I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's a brown spot in the trees up in there. It's gonna be right up in there. So I don't wanna go too close to the house. Some people might say, oh, it ain't gonna bother the deer. Well, I want to have a pretty dang good buffer and setback off of that, so that way we can cut a road in behind there and, you know, have some trails coming through here. But this area right in here, I want half of the property, at least half of the property, to be all deer all day, 24/7. No human access, no penetration into these woods, no walking around. It needs to be 24/7 deer. And I think that's what we're gonna create down here. Like I said before, I'm putting a road in all the way around the perimeter of the property. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I wanna be able to slip in and out of these spots without any kind of contact to the wildlife. There's so many good properties all across the country that could be way better, but they're not set up right to access the stand, to hunt it for the correct wind. So I've got this set up as about as good as I can get it. This spot is for a north wind. That is south. And so when the wind is blowing from the north through here to the south, should be a money shot. I'm thinking about putting a double ladder in that tree, that big pine back there. And then maybe next year putting maybe a shooting house on this or something like that. So this probably will go unhunted until later in the year. Next year we're gonna plant probably some kind of borascus in here, cereal grains. But this year, for now, I just want to get some kind of seed on the ground. You can see I'll have a little bit of seed to soil contact. This is nothing but dirt under here. I've mulched it all up as fine as I can get it. And it looks pretty dang good for the most part. I might come in here with a root rake and just kind of rake some of this stuff out of the way, like this buildup right here. That's pretty dang thick. You're not going to get a whole lot of food to grow in that. But I want to have good seed to soil contact without really working the ground. I want this to break down into organic matter and then be healthier for the soil in the years to come. Another thing that I'll do this spring is I'll come in here after this winter and do some soil tests. I want to get the soil right. Lime fertilizer is definitely key to have a successful food plot. Having deer use it the way that it's designed to be. And I think overall, just this little area right here that's probably just shy of a half acre is going to feed a lot of deer. So this is the first of a couple plots on the property. I'm going to put one on the far western side. I want to do like a big boomerang, 150 yards long with little cuts on either side is the plan. So what do you guys think? Let me know. Drop a comment below in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing a lot of videos like this in the months and years to come. This is going to be a lifetime project for me. I'm super excited to finally have my own piece of ground that I can manage the way I want, do what I want, and see the results for myself. So I'm pumped. Hope you guys are excited as I am. Let's take a ride back in the skid steer and extend this plot a little bit. These deer are going to start walking these trails a whole lot better, and they're going to find bedding. We're going to set up bedding areas for them, and it's going to be incredible. So just bear with us. We're already getting it cleared.
That way.
Yeah, let's go that way.
Yeah. It's that tree right there.
Yeah, that tree fell down. That one's been dead for a while. It's a little rotten.
That tree fell down about a year.
About a year ago?
Yeah. Right here, Daddy.
Hey.
Right here.
Watch for snakes. Ah, don't be picking nothing up.
What's your snakes?
Come on. Watch for snakes. You know what they look like?
Yeah.
Okay.
They look like brown
and you can hardly see them.
And
I'm looking for you. I'm looking out ahead of you.
And
Okay, okay. Hey, what do you think about the food plot?
This one.
Huh? What do you think about the food plot?
It's good.
Okay, it's good. Do you approve, Boone? You like it?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a dirt pot.
In the mud, in the mud.
Get out of the mud.
Up, down.
All right. Let's get back to work. is now about 1:30. Madeline just went and got me lunch from Jimmy's. So thank you so much for that. That was delicious. So far, I've had salad, fried okra, and the what's those rolls? They're like Japanese rolls or something. It's not a spring roll. It's a yeah. That's it. I'm telling you, that Reuben is fire. Look, I got the cheese and the juice dripping out the back. So yeah, we just started cutting the road in on the north border. So I'm about, I'd say 30 yards off my neighbor's property line. And that's gonna be the most northern boundary. And like I said about the core of the property, I want this place to be 24/7 deer. All day, every day, all the time, devoted to deer. Daylight activity, nighttime activity, it don't matter, deer. And I don't want to penetrate that core area. So what I'm trying to do is put these roads in on the outside of the property, in our property boundaries, but just on the outside. Now it's going to take some of our property away from us, but hey, we're going to have one hell of a buffer all the way around this place. I just got on the drone and flew it around and was just doing some surveying of the lands around me. I wanted to know what's around me. Is there ag fields? Is there water? Is it swamp? Is it hardwood thickets? Is it planted pines? Is it native grass? And my neighbor to the north side has about a 1 acre food plot, maybe an 1.5 acre food plot, with a trough. So I'm guessing they're feeding maybe protein year round, and a time feeder as well, and also a shooting house. That's not gonna mess me up too bad. We're gonna try to contain these deer within the property and turn his daylight activity nocturnal. So that's the plan. Deer move on our property first, staging area, bedding area, food, cover, water, and then if they want to venture off the property at night, no problem, as long as they don't get hit by a car. So that's the plan. We'll see what happens. And we are still cutting. North end of the property now. Neighbor's got a food plot just through there where you see that opening in the sky. And I want to take advantage of as much ground as we can down here. I almost went back kind of down into the core of the property. You gotta have a GPS when you're cutting these roads. I've got it running on and off, but it you definitely gotta have a GPS. So I was fixing to head that way, which would have been into the heart of the property, and I'm just pretty much wasting, 50 yards of ground if I don't get closer to his edge. So that's the plan. I want to get as close as I can without creating a road out into his food plot. I want to run this road parallel to his property line, so these deer are encouraged to walk that line, and instead of going in and out of the property line. So that's the plan here. Coming along nicely so far.